Hey folks, this is Mike, and we're coming at you today with Tyler Brennan's origin story. Many of you may already know these details, but it's good to hear them from the man himself. Now, Tyler is well accomplished for what I think of as a young age. Of course, I'm just an old dude. I'm 41 years old, and quite frankly, it feels like I've seen the whole earth at this point. But at 25, the man is an owner of RDQ, First Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, an F-15 Strike Eagle pilot, half owner in Rotor Riot, and he also qualified for took fourth at Drone Nationals in 2016. So that's, I don't know. In our industry, I think that qualifies him as a badass. Not 100% certain. I'll let you guys fill me in on whether or not he is in fact a badass. But this is Tyler's story in his own words. I hope you enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I bring you Mr. Tyler Brennan. One might call him the White Knight of Rotor Riot. And Tyler has been gracious enough to accept an offer to do some interviewing. And I am very happy to have him on whatever the heck we decide to name what this show is apparently going to become to be, because I have interviewed a ton of people at this point and it's just week one. So Tyler, tell us a little bit about yourself, and not just about yourself, but what's your origin story? How did you get to be who you are, where you are now?
Oh geez, that's a big one. All right,
and you can feel free to take this one as deep or as shallow as you want.
Yeah.
Obviously, Capper took it 45 minutes long. You don't have to do that.
I won't do that. This will be like 5 minutes. Obviously, Tyler Brennan, and luckily I'm only 25. Chad is like 50, so.
I thought he was 60 something.
60s.
68 maybe. Yeah.
I think that sounds. Yeah. So mine won't be as quite as drawn out. But anyways, basically let's start with what I'm doing now, and we'll work backwards so it all starts sense kind of. So right now I am a pilot in the Air Force. I fly the F-15E Strike Eagle. In addition, I own and run race day quads, and I own half of Rotor Riot and basically make the money happen for them. So that's what I'm doing now. So working back, essentially I've always loved aviation. So that's the story with me, basically. Grandfather got me into flying. From there, pretty much always knew that I wanted to fly. Decided I wanted to fly the biggest, baddest, and best. And so I went to the Air Force Academy. From there, I majored in economics, which I actually used a little bit of. I got a pilot slot, applied for a pilot slot, went to pilot training in the Air Force, and right after graduation from the Air Force Academy, immediately after, I started RDQ. So basically, kind of backtracking, I found the sport late 2015, early 2016, and got absolutely obsessed with it.
Seems to be a common theme.
So obsessed with it. I mean, just crazy obsessed. Basically, found the sport, and multi-GP nationals was I think August. Don't quote me, but I think it was August of 2016. And I said, I want to win. I want to go out and win. And so that's pretty much what I set out to do. I kind of just got myself through the last semester at the academy, and really started training hardcore racing. And I was lucky because the academy is based in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which is an awesome FPV community. I think it's a little known fact that Denver, Colorado Springs area is a huge hub of FPV happening. Anyways, so I started training for the race, and during that training, I mean, for anyone that was around mid 2016, you'll think that the retailer landscape for FPV was vastly different than it is today. And so it was essentially out of necessity that I decided to just buy some parts, stock it out of the back of my Jeep, and my game plan was that, hey, I would have parts to train with, and I would just sell parts to my buddies who I also trained with, and basically that's what I would do. And then when I was done with that and I wanted to go to the Air Force and focus on pilot training, I would just sell it off and call it a day, call it a job well done. You know, I had some fun with FPV, and that would be it. So that was basically how it came to be born, because I couldn't, obviously, to catch someone like Sean Taylor, which I tried to do but didn't, I could not do it having to wait for parts from China or wait for a store to come into stock. So I did it myself. Anyways, so went to nationals. Did pretty well. I got fourth. One of my buddies who I trained with, he got third. Jordan got second, and then Sean won it, of course. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was the basic story, and then so basically from the end of graduation to the beginning of pilot training, I had about 6 months span there. So I just continued the RDQ thing, and basically at the end of that 6 month span, the Air Force moved it up quickly by 2 to 3 months. I had these big plans to go, and I was gonna be a DRL pilot, and I was gonna have RDQ be focused based out of Colorado, and I was gonna keep it Colorado. And then Air Force messed that up and said, "Hey, you're starting 3 months early." I said, "Crap." So I basically at that point, decision: do I keep doing it or not keep doing it? And I'll be honest, I was like 50-50, because, you know, I want to be a pilot in the Air Force. And the community, essentially in Colorado, didn't let me choose not to continue doing it. So, little known fact, my mom helped ship out orders. So I moved RDQ from my kitchen in my little 1,200 square foot apartment to the computer room of my house in Valrico, Florida. And she shipped out that. At that time we were doing about 40 orders a day. So she took 40 orders. She had no idea what FPV was, not a single clue. And you know, for anyone that watched the source super closely, we got really simple. Like, we got, you know, one color of everything. We had 1 kV of everything, and that was because Tyler's mom was doing all the packing, and she had to figure out what. So shout out.
That's awesome.
Shout out to mom.
Does she still pack?
No. She was like, I am done with this. I am done. So I don't blame her, you know. But without her, RDQ, in all likelihood, probably would not be around today, and I wouldn't be able to do what I was doing. Let's
all give it up for Mama Brennan.
Yeah, seriously.
That is, I mean, honestly, of all the FPV stories that I've heard, my mom was packing shipments out of the kitchen, or the computer room is maybe the best so far. So, yep. So you're active duty, right?
Yes.
Dude,
yep.
where?
What's that?
Ahead. Go ahead.
I'm a first lieutenant, so I'm a lowly. I'm just getting into my fighter squadron. Just starting to fly the F-15.
Do you have a call sign yet?
No, not yet.
Not
You
yet?
really don't get one. You really don't get a solid one until you deploy.
Okay.
I'll get like a training one.
Okay.
And if it's a really good one, it'll stick. And if it's not a really good one, then I'll get a new one when I deploy. But if you see this,
Yeah.
this
Oh yeah.
thing,
I see it. I see it. Dude, it's happening. And once, I mean, look, once you hit puberty, it'll fill out.
Damn it. No, this is gonna mustache marks. So the thing in the fighter community, I mean, pretty much if you don't grow a mustache, you better be a girl. And I mean, everybody grows a mustache. Is how it goes. So
That's awesome.
Talking to you, at 23rd, this thing's getting shaved off in 7 days because I don't want my fiance to call off the wedding. So
what's funny is, so I'm in Virginia Beach. So we've got all branches in the military here, and you would not be, I mean, you probably wouldn't be surprised, but you'll see these dudes run around with the absolute jankiest porn stashes you've ever seen. And they're a pilot or they're a SEAL.
Yeah.
One of the two. One of the two. Yeah. So it's often, and typically you can look at the watch to figure out which one it is. And maybe the build too. But so I mean, all right. So you're active duty full time, flying F-15s. You've got an 8-year commitment from what I heard on another podcast. Tell me about what does time management look like for you right now?
It's strict. It's really strict. While I was waiting to start this video, just sitting here, I was studying flying stuff. Okay. So basically, I pretty much literally do nothing except something FPV related, something Air Force related, or talk to my fiance. That's pretty much it.
Have you felt the inklings of burnout, or do you ever worry about that?
I have a really good team behind me. And I mean, yeah, I've had times where I felt like I was drowning. I mean, there's so much to do with RDQ. There's so much to do flying wise because it's, and yeah, definitely. But I've combated that with, basically my team has always been there for me. And I've said, hey guys, the X day to X day, I'm not going to be available. I need you guys to just kind of just help me out and help me with what I normally do. And they make it manageable. So, I mean, I'm not, I think anyone that works 100 hours a week would feel burnt out from time to time. But at the same time, think about my job is flying fighter jets and dealing with FPV stuff.
Right.
I could think of,
there's way worse things.
I love it. So, it's easy to get burnt out when you're working a lot. It's hard to get burnt out when you're doing something you love. So that's kind of
so I'm going to give you an option right now. You can either go jump in the cockpit of an F-15E, or you can put on the goggles and go fly. Which one do you do?
The Strike Eagle.
It wasn't even a question, was it?
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite memes that I've ever seen running around is, I fly FPV, so I'm basically a fighter pilot, and I really identify with that. By the way, my family history, my grandfather was he went through World War II as part of the Army Air Corps, retired as a full bird colonel in the Air Force. And he was a fighter pilot as well. So I definitely, I have at least some and living where I live here in Virginia Beach, we definitely have a lot of pilots around us because we got Oceana, right down the way. I've always, every time I meet a new pilot, occasionally I'll be like, "Hey man, can I maybe just slip into the cockpit? Like, just sneak me in? Does that ever happen?" They're like, "No, it never happens."
No,
Yeah.
not really, not really. Yeah. I'll say though that obviously I haven't done everything ever in the whole world, but FPV to me is the closest thing that I've ever seen for you to get to an actual, I would say, like fighter kind of experience in terms of the speed at which things go and the sense of, speed there. There's also some really good like computer simulators like DCS. If you ever seen that? That's actually pretty good sim. So DCS, FPV, they're both I think as close as you can possibly get to strapping on a fighter jet. Yeah.
Okay. When I was at a party back, so I got into drones in 2016 as well. I think I've competed in one race. I just don't have the time to dedicate to train. But I pulled out a Luke Bannister video and I showed it to a group of F-18 pilots, and none of them believed that it wasn't sped up. They were all like, "There's no way. This kid is not this fast. This has to be sped up at least 1.5 times." And I was like, "No, I really don't think he speeds up his footage." And one guy was like adamant, like, "No, absolutely. This is sped up. It's not possible to fly this way." And so it's very interesting seeing fighter pilots in general react to FPV is pretty fun. I've got a good buddy. He actually taught at Top Gun. He's Marine F-18 pilot, and I put the goggles on him, and he for the first time, and immediately punched out, and then turned it upside down, and then just kind of fell for a while, and I could hear him. I was in the goggles too. I could hear him. Oh wow! Yeah, he was just like, "This is amazing." Yep. So it's good stuff. So, well, anyways, moving on. You do have this 8-year commitment to the Air Force, and I know the Air Force doesn't move around quite as much as, say, the Army or the Navy. But I know you move around a lot. Like, what's your plan when you move? When you get moved to a different duty station from where you are now?
Well, I'm just gonna keep doing exactly what I've been doing. So RDQ has been remotely run for the last 2 years. I have not worked in the warehouse for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So I live in North Carolina. The warehouse is in Orlando.
All right.
And so nothing will change. It'll just the only thing that'll change is the time of my response if I get stationed overseas or something. So to that end, it's nice that we have a great system in place where I can run I wouldn't even say run, because the day-to-day stuff, obviously I'm not there. I don't run. But I can do what I do from anywhere in the world, which is nice.
Hey folks, thank you for watching. That was great. I thought Tyler's origin story was pretty fascinating, quite honestly. And hats off to the guy for accomplishing so much at such a young age. There will be one more segment in this where we're actually going to kind of dive into what Tyler's day-to-day role is at RDQ. It's not quite what you would expect, and I can give you a hint. He's not in the same state as RDQ anymore. The U.S. Air Force has moved him to a different place. So anyways, I will let you guys look forward to that, and we'll keep these going. Talk to y'all soon. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. I haven't been telling you to hit the bell. Hit the bell. So when these things pop up, you'll know. I'll see you later. Bye.